Hello everyone and welcome back to Stellaris and of course to the Eos Commonwealth. Now in the beginning of this episode we're going to take a little bit of time to have a look at our empire. I think it's about that time. We've been expanding and things have been changing, and apparently the stagnant descendancy wants to talk with us. Greetings, Eos. We understand that your empire has come into possession of a cache of data containing the brain scans of an extinct species, taken from the very world they once inhabited. Even though your species is still too primitive to utilize this data, we laud your efforts in preserving this last remnant of a once vibrant civilization. As part of our efforts to conserve and catalogue endangered species in our endangered species preserve, we wish to take this data and use our cloning technologies to bring a small number of the species back to life. Will you share it with us so we can fulfill their last wish together? We'll make a copy for you. Sure. A pop of the long-dead Cheskaran species will be created in the Athalan Endangered Species Preserve. Athalid Forerunners will be pleased and may show us favour in the future. I don't see this as any downside to this one, honestly, so sure. Okay, go ahead. There you go. Now then, as I was saying, we're going to take a moment to have a look at our empire. You know what? I'm going to pause it for now. It's been a while, the empire has grown, and I just want to have a review of the state of things. So, first and foremost, I noticed the T-Prime is ready for a new building. Now, there are two that I'm interested in building right now. The Betharian power plant, and somewhere all the way down here, the robot assembly plant. Now, robots in our empire can only really work basic jobs, out of which we're going to have a lot on this world. That being said, what else would I do with the population right now? Well, I mean, I could have more generator districts and, well, I guess more city districts, perhaps. But really, the Betharian power plant is such a key structure, and it's so rare, and it gives 4 technician jobs. It's pretty amazing and produces 10 credits by itself, so I think we really need to go for that. We'll have a look for another place where we can set up the Betharian power plant. In fact, Caladan is another good candidate because it's an agricultural world. We'll have a lot of pops. In fact, it's only 1 away from being able to build something. We'll have a lot of pops here working labor-intensive jobs. So I think, yeah, this will probably be a good place for us to lay down an assembly plant and actually start getting some robot workers out there. Now, in terms of population, since we're already on the topic of it, I believe there is one thing that we can clear over here, the sprawling slums, which will give us back one of our max districts, but also, once we clear this, we'll get a new population here. That'll take us to only 2 needed to get our next building, so I think that is a definite. So we'll lay down 300 credits there to get that one going as well. So that one is all done. Now, New Frontiers, as far as a sector goes, not the best name. I'm going to be honest. The New Frontiers is a fine name for a planet, but we need a better name for the sector. And Chaotrocles has deemed that it will be Bubbles. Welcome to the game, Bubbles. I know that it's not a scientist and it's not a leader of any sort, but on the plus side, leaders die, sectors are eternal. So welcome to the Eos Commonwealth, Bubbles, and thank you very much for being a supporter. Right, now, in terms of Jaundice Station, let's have a quick look at you. We've got one of our trade hubs built, that's fantastic, which means we can now queue our off-world trading company, which I'm very, very happy with. And the second trading hub should give this range enough to grab the trade resources there, trade resources here, and the trade resources there, as long as we link these worlds up. And that's probably a fairly high priority for us, I'm going to be honest there. Now, in terms of other things, well, actually, let's walk our way through. Right now, we've got 3 different species in our empire. Ooh, there's actually quite a lot of the Bathurians here, but they're somewhat wasteful. I'm not super happy with that, honestly. I may need to try and change that at some point if we can. But we've got 3 pops here at the moment. We've got no claims. In terms of factions, it's not too bad. 2 of them have got 75% approval rating. That's actually quite nice. Okay, well, what about this one? Conquest local rivalry? Probably not going to be going there. Now, not having rivalries does mean that we're going to be playing a very slow game when it comes to influence, because we're never really going to get that beautiful, beautiful boost that you get from having chonky rivalries. But honestly, anyone that we would remotely be interested in rivaling is already rivaled by 3 people, so we can't rival them anyway. So this is not much of a loss, but this particular faction is never going to be particularly happy with this. Committee of Faith Values. Empty shells. Allowing for the replacement of organic life with robotic workers will displease the Committee of Faith and Values. I don't care. Psionic Pursuit. Now that one's a nice one. This won't actually affect our approval, I don't think, which is unfortunate. Embattled Minority. Finding spiritualists' beliefs to be a minority issue in Eos Commonwealth will displease the Committee of Faith and Values. Due to its current attraction value, we expect around 12% of our pops to embrace this ethic. Okay, so they are a minority then. Alright, well, they want us to try and bolster that, and I'm not necessarily against that one, actually. So we might be able to grab 2 of these. We'll always have this problem, but perhaps at some later date, the Committee for Faith and Values will look a little bit more favourably upon us. The Popular Vote Network, you're already pretty happy with us as far as it goes. And the Alien Aid Trust. Now, what have we got here? Enclaves Incorporated. That is difficult for us. There's no enclaves that are reasonably close that we could bring into our territory. Multicultural Society. We need 4 unique species. Okay, that's a time thing, but definitely something we can aim for. And Indirect Xenology. Legislating a passive study stance on native interference will please the Alien Aid Trust. Okay, I think we can probably do that. We're not actually studying any natives anyway, so that's not a biggie. We've only got 3 months on naval capacity, and I'm extremely excited for that one. Fleet Manager, indeed the ship designer. We're not going to be doing anything here for a little while, at least not until we've got a larger fleet. But that being said, I am starting to think that our trade routes, yeah, I'm thinking we're very soon going to want to get a navy zooming around here, making sure all of this trade is protected, because we are definitely going to start seeing some problems. Over here, the trade route value is 22.29, the max piracy is 5.57, current piracy is minus 4.98, so yeah, we actually need to get that sorted out because I don't want them stealing my stuff, funnily enough. Alright, so we will be making a second fleet at some point to try and help out with that a little bit. Traditions and relics. Now, in terms of my plans for expansion, there's 2 ways we can go with this. Get starbase upkeep, drop down by 20%, that's, you know, a chunky reduction. And that will definitely help us, you know, straight away. We've got a few star bases. Alternatively, we could go for colonization fever. Now, unfortunately, we missed our chance to actually get any benefit from this. I doubt we're going to be colonizing too heavily in the future, and there's going to be long gaps in between where this is doing nothing for us. But this, population growth speed, that is quite interesting to us, and I think something we should be aiming for. As far as relics go, museum exhibits, put the minor artifact on public display to inspire our people with the wonders of the past. I may actually do that with a couple of our places because we got 89, but no, this was one that came up in the comments. Secrets of the Voltrum. Issue a special project to delve into the secrets of the Voltrum. I think, Voltaum, rather. Sure. We're going to lay down 50 artifacts on that. Our scientists have begun a special project to study the deeper secrets of the precursors. Marvellous. Acknowledged. We'll check that one out. Celebrate diversity. We'll gain a whopping great amount of unity for this one. Celebrating diversity modifier added for 120 months, giving the following ethics. Xenophile ethic attraction, plus 50%. Yeah, actually, display some of our minor artifacts to show the diversity of life in the galaxy. Proclaim religious revelation. Spiritual ethics. Now this one may actually tie into our desire to get our factions on board, because they are going to help with our low influence. We're going to have to play a very faction focused game to have any real influence gain, because we can't do rivalries, or we've missed our chance to. I didn't really want to anyway. We don't need money, so sure, I'm going to lay down 2 artifacts to get proclaim religious revelation. There we go. And I guess yeah, we've got to wait until that's over. We can't just stack that. Balls the pity, really. But I'm okay with celebrating diversity as well. Sure, that unity bump is extremely nice. I approve of that quite a lot, actually. Let's have a look at how far out we are from our next tradition. Only 22 months now. Yeah, Okay, that was quite nice. That was about 5 months worth of unity. In fact, between the two of them, almost a year's worth of unity straight up. That was actually quite nice. Now, edicts and policies. As far as edicts go, the only one that I'm really interested in getting quickly is diplomatic grants, to give us that extra little bit of diplomatic weight and to help our envoys that are improving relations even more. The others, map the stars, I always like to have active until pretty much I've mapped all the stars, and then there's not much reason to have it. Declare Saint, this is quite a nice one. Monthly unity increases, there's nothing bad about that one. I encourage political thought, not as keen on that one, and while these are great, we don't need them right now. Capacity overload would be nice though, if we ever find ourselves flush with influence. But policies. Now then, it's been a while since I've looked at these. We briefly checked them out at the beginning of the game and made some slight adjustments, but it's been a long time since we've done this. Purge, slavery, population controls. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to enslave anyone. And I don't want to make rules on who's allowed to breed with who. No, you love who you want to love. In regards to... refugees. Yeah, refugees welcome. In fact, encourage. There's no way to encourage refugees to come here. We can't have massive propaganda throughout the rest of the galaxy saying, if you find yourself without a home, we'll make one for you. More's the pity, because that would actually help with the alien aid faction, since we would probably get to 4 species pretty quickly. Robotic workers. I like the idea of having robotic workers. AI now, that's a different matter entirely. Really, this comes down to citizens' rights or outlawed. Because servitude is slavery. I would rather just not have AI than enslave AI. So we'll leave that one as it is. Trade policy, though. Currently, we're just making wealth out of our trade value. But I am actually having to buy some consumer goods. Now, we've been seesawing back and forth between needing me to buy any and having a surplus. I can probably get rid of this at this point, but it probably wouldn't be too long before I would need it again. However, if we were to change our policy here on wealth creation to consumer benefit, currently I'm buying effectively 1 consumer good for, at most, 3 credits. Well, if every unit of trade wasn't making me 1 credit, but was instead making me half a credit and half a consumer good, then at that point, every 2 trade units would be giving me 1 consumer good and 1 credit. Effectively, I would be buying, by trading in my trade resource, 1 consumer good for 1 credit, which is a much, much better deal for me. So sure, I think that one's a pretty easy one to go for. We're going to go for consumer benefits. There we are. Profits and taxes must take second place to improving the lives of our citizens. We should focus our trade efforts towards the manufacture and distribution of everyday necessities. I agree. Economic policy, mixed economy. We're not at war, but I do like having a surplus of allies around. I hope that we won't get into a war, but I want to be ready for one should we find ourselves in that situation. Food policy, a balance is fine. Initial border status open, first contact peaceful. These are all quite nice. Land appropriation prohibited, resettlement prohibited. Live where you want to live, not where I tell you to. Though, if you happen to want to live where I tell you to, that's really good. Native enlightenment. We're fine to enlighten them if we feel that they're ready to make that next step into the collective community. But native interference. Currently, we can do whatever we want, down to and including kidnapping and then dissecting. No. Let's go ahead with passive study. I see no downside to this, and it's going to make the Alien Aid Trust even happier, which means we'll get a little bit more influence. Orbital bombardment is indiscriminate. No. Selective. We shouldn't be targeting anything but identified military assets, and even then should do our best to keep civilian casualties to a bare minimum. In terms of war philosophy, I'm not going to change this. I want to still have the option to go to war, rather than only claim systems if we're in a defensive war or against Gestalt consciousnesses. No, I think unrestricted wars. If we want to go to war to claim systems, then we will keep that option on the table. We may not take it, but it's good to have the choice. Now, diplomatic stance. This is an interesting one. We're currently on expansionist, which means that our outposts cost a little bit less to build and colonies develop nice and quickly. But we're not developing any colonies anymore, and haven't been for a while. I should have changed this a while ago, actually. Now, our options are isolationist. This would make border friction twice as bad as it is right now. Gathering an ethics attraction would be good, but diplomatic influence would go... Wow, that would actually be quite nasty. The cost would increase and the weight would decrease, so ugh. But we would get more unity. Alternatively, we can either be belligerent, wherein it would cost us influence to improve relations. That's an automatic no, more or less, but it would be a better setup for a species that knows it doesn't want friends, it wants wars. Or cooperative, whereby it would cost us influence to harm relations. We're not doing that anyway, so it's not a loss to us, but it would give us a plus 25% diplomatic weight, and our envoys would be even better at improving relations. We're really stacking that improved relations. I can see no downside to switching over to that. That is actually quite glorious as far as I'm concerned. Quite glorious indeed. Now then, with that done, I think we're in a reasonably good spot. Well, actually, we kind of want to get up there. I think we're already set to try and take that system. And if I want to grab all of this trade, the trade value here, I'm going to need this system in our chain, because we can't get there going this way. We can only get to these two going this way. So, yeah, we'll move over there. We'll come grab these ones later. They're not a super high priority. We're doing quite well right now with our minerals. If we have a look at the situation log, mineral refining. Revered Elder Cancer was elected on our platform of bringing our monthly mineral surplus up to at least plus 30 a month. Now, our surplus is, from what I can see, pretty good. It's plus 110, so I would say that we're on a pretty good good path with that. We've already done it. Unless this means something else, but I don't think it does. I think this was probably one of the easiest ones we've had. But now, delve into the secrets of the Voltarm. It's going to take 25 months, and we're not going to be able to continue our research alternatives. That's not terribly bad. I think we're going to go for it. Sure. Let's get that one knocked out as quickly as we can. And with that, I think we've more or less caught up with everything we needed to have a look at. I guess there's a little bit more to look at in terms of the factions as well. We're making decent progress towards level 3. Our fleet is, reasonably small, though it'll probably grow enormously once I get that plus 30 to fleet capacity, because I will then be continuing to give some of that extra to the Federation. We will get over our current fleet size, so we will stop having the plus 77% maintenance cost, which is frankly crippling. So that'll be a good one, but we will also boost up the Federation fleet as well. There's nothing really that we want to change as yet, I would say. I think we're good where we are. In terms of the galactic community, though, we are currently... let's pause that there. We're currently voting on cooperative research channels, and we're going to win handedly. It's got another 1,309 days, and after that, probably going to be forming the galactic market, which I'm actually quite eager to see get set up at this point. That would be quite nice. In terms of our resolutions overall, well, there's quite a few, but probably one of the biggest ones, honestly, is getting the Galactic Council going, forming the Galactic Council. Everything else is just going to be little things here and there, but once the Galactic Council is in play, there will actually start to be consequences for not doing what the Galactic Council has said, and that's the point when it's going to start getting really fun, and we're going to be able to start playing the game of politics. Well, I mean, not cheating is the wrong word. Abusing the rather rigid rule system. Well, maybe abusing is wrong. Manipulating the rigid rule system to our benefit is probably the best way of putting it. Ooh, migration treaty. Fantastic. I absolutely agree. Come along. I hope we can get you into our civilization pretty quickly, because that's going to make everyone happy. We have got an archaeological site, though. We can keep digging now. Further studies of the local civilization on Jaundice 5 have given rise to more questions than answers. The plane's sturdy structures are thousands of years old and all seem to have been constructed at roughly the same time, perhaps as brief as a single century. Similarly, any additions or renovations to the urban structure seem to have been done planet-wide at sudden, widely separated intervals. The oddly punctuated development of this society seems to show no appreciable change in population size. Keep digging, for heaven's sake. We're already fairly far along, so it's not going to take Detour very long to get that all sorted, I don't think. And we've got naval capacity. Oh, look at that, so good. It's so very good. Now, what are we going to go with next? We could get a new tile blocker. I'm not particularly eager for that one, I'll be honest with you. Increased habitability, perhaps. Naval capacity from soldier jobs. Defense army damage would be nice. But no, I think administrative capacity is probably the better one for us to go for. Now, do we have a better scientist for this? We do not. So you can stay where you are then, Oak. Enjoy, I guess. But on that note, I think we're just going to be passing forward for a little bit. Our influence from the Alienate Trust, it has gone up quite a lot. We're now 100% approved, and I'm extremely happy about that one. And we can already see that Spiritualist is up to 15%, so it's gained 3% of our population since we used the relics to promote that particular ethic. I'm quite happy with the development so far. I shall bring it back when there is more to report. Oh, not very long after I laid down the cut there, Akutami's perished. You lived to the ripe old age of 83, Akutami. F's in comments, please. I need a new governor. Let's have a quick look. Who are we going to grab? Agrarian jobs, that wouldn't be a bad one. Necessarily. Sure. Okay, let's get you. Of course, however, you are not, in fact, Secunda, you are Amira. Welcome to the Diplomatic Corps. Amira, well, I guess not diplomatic, the Bureaucratic Corps, I suppose I should say. I hope you enjoy. It would appear that the Nidklax nation would also like to form a commercial pact. Let's have a quick look. How much are we currently using up in commercial pacts? None so far. I think we're going to agree. Now, is that going to affect it? Yes, 0.12. But I'm okay with this. As you can see, the adjustments to our economy have helped out quite a lot. We're producing an enormous amount of commercial goods now, and we've also got quite a lot of energy credits. I've spent a frankly inordinate amount of food and consumer goods on boosting our population growth and also our amenities and immigration pull, just to get a couple more people on the planet. So we're going to go ahead and lay that down here as well. As soon as I've got the food, I'll do the same there on New Frontiers. Gradually, little by little, we are growing. We're receiving a transmission from the independent space station of the Curator Order. They appear to have successfully translated our language. Marvelous. Greetings, Star Travelers. We are the Curators. Our ancient order was established eons ago by the various galactic powers in ascendancy at the time. We were dedicated towards the preservation of all knowledge in an effort to safeguard the galaxy from descending into yet another dark age of mass extinctions and barbarism. We failed. Few of us remain today, but we are no less committed to our sacred mission than our predecessors were. We are willing to share some of our knowledge with you for a price. Well, now, that is particularly useful. I am very, very eager for this. Now, we need a little bit of extra alloys. I foolishly started building up our next fleet for dealing with piracy a little bit too soon. My bad. Let's go ahead and find the curators, though. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Can you aid us in our research? Okay, of course, we are prepared to offer you limited access to our extensive databanks for a period of 10 standard years. This should provide a significant boost to the research efforts of your planet-side research labs. I would 100% like to grab this, and later on, perhaps we can get one of your scientists as well, once we've built up a bit of relation with you. But on the topic of fleet, yeah, we're going to... Do we want to give an admiral to our pirate fleet? You know what, they may have to do double duty one day, so maybe we should. Let's have a quick gander. We've got ship weapon range, leader experience gain. I think I'm going to go with ship weapon range. Sure. Let's get you in here. And actually, you're of the Batharium. Banthur species, I believe. Banthurian. There we are. It was close to Batharium. No, they're not actually energy-producing rocks. I'm sorry, okay? I make mistakes. But one mistake I don't make is in knowing your true name. Welcome, Obsidian Mist, to our glorious admirals. You're going to be doing a very, very important job of keeping our space lanes safe once I've got enough ships for you. Though I suppose I could, in fact, set up the patrol route for you, couldn't I? I would like you to go down there, then up here, then over to here, and then finally over there. That should give you the full route that I need. We'll see how that goes. The doorway. What can only be described as a dimensional portal has been discovered in a remote location on New Frontiers. Weather predictions algorithms noticed a strange air current which was eventually determined to be caused by the slight leakage of atmosphere into the portal. The rate of loss is far too small for it to make any difference to life on New Frontiers, but the very existence of this portal raises some disturbing questions, such as where does it lead to? And could something come through the portal from the other side? Ooh, intriguing. He issues a special project and adds a portal research area to New Frontiers. This is marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. I 100% want to have a look into this. Ah, damn it. We're already on this one, though. Well, I mean, eventually. We will look into it eventually. But let's have a quick look. Portal research area. Dimensional portal researcher job, +1. Okay. We'll get another one for every 40 pops. A secure complex has been built around the dimensional portal to house research staff dedicated to probing its mysteries. Well, that's actually pretty good. I approve. Frankly, we'll have to see where that one goes, though. This is an interesting one. One of our science ships just stumbled upon something rather curious. A shielded world. This entire world is encased in some kind of impenetrable energy barrier. It blocks all scans of the surface. Also, there's a bunch of aliens there as well. Okay. Well, we're going to have to investigate that one, I fancy. Alright. We'll get to that at some point as well. Wow, we've got so many projects that I can't actually work on yet. It's a little bit vexing, not going to lie. Construction completed. Archaeological site event pending. Ooh, anyone home? A recent breakthrough shone some light on the vanished city builders of Jondus 5. Apparently, the fungal species has a collective cycle of mass death and rebirth. They hatch en masse, almost simultaneously across the whole planet, and grow up as part of a linked hive mind collective. In the course of their hundreds of years long life cycle, they spread out and reclaim the cities built and abandoned by previous died-off generations. When nearing the next death rebirth event, they heed some species-wide biological clarion call. Though asexual reproduction, they give birth to a pod that is buried in the ground. The parent dies, and the body decays and fertilizes the ground around the pod. After a long dormant period, the pods hatch, and the cycle begins anew. Pretty much called it. Okay, keep digging. I'm interested to see where this goes. Well, the Stagnant Ascendancy, the Athalid Forerunners, have opened their borders with us. I approve, actually. Though, can we really make use of it? Can we get anywhere that we wouldn't be able to otherwise? I'm not sure our science ships are really going to be able to make use of that one, unfortunately. And it does suck, but it is what it is. Alas, I'm going to go ahead and plonk down. Well, we'll grab another mining district. Sure, go ahead. We've got quite a lot going on here, and we'll just flesh out the mining districts. That's not much of a problem. We are very close to getting a new building unlock there, and also very close on Caladan as well. The Long Prime is a little ways away. New Frontiers is quite a ways away, to be perfectly honest, but we'll get there eventually. Things aren't going too badly. I have noticed in the galactic community the year 2255 1206, that is not actually a year is 2255. The month is December and is the 6th of said month. But look at that. We are now the 3rd highest in terms of our diplomatic weight. This is very, very nice, and we are owed a favor by the 5th highest, which would actually give us, quite an overwhelming single vote. Very far from being enough to be able to just, bully anything through the galactic community, but we'll make our way there. We'll have enough favors eventually that we can just, single-handedly vote something through. It's going to be a thing that happens, okay? That's what we're aiming for anyway. But continuing to make friends and try to influence them to do things that may not be towards their best interests through various diplomatic shenanigans. Wow, actually, it makes me sound really bad when I say it that way. The League of Gakaga is offering us a migration treaty. That December 2256 is turning into a pretty fun little time. The Athelid Forerunner just closed their borders, but I had also noticed that I believe, and it may still be the case, yes, they're actively improving our relations with each other. I mean, the request that we accepted is decaying by 2 yearly, but our relations are improving by 1 monthly, which is pretty amazing, and they're doing that by themselves. I'm not having to put any real effort into this one on my part. Now, in terms of the rest of our diplomacy, I'm currently trying to improve relations with the Gelsbig Foundation. I moved my envoy from the Saban Collective, but it looks like they have decided that they want to pick up the slack there, and they're working on that one. I'll probably do exactly the same with the Mictor Keepers. Simply, well, actually, is there anyone I could do it with? I suppose I could go for the Hidden Sovereignty. It's decaying by 2 per month right now. If I took it away from the Mictor Keepers, would they try and improve it? I'm not sure they would. So maybe I should just keep it there, because I don't think we're ever going to really do anything with the Hidden Sovereignty. That being said, it would be a lot easier to keep their relations up over the Mictor Keepers. Now, the problem with the Hidden Sovereignty, they're never going to want to do anything in regards to trade or anything like that with us. The best we can have is just have good relations, which in and of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. Let's have a look over here. Now, in terms of our agreements, we could possibly push for a research agreement. I wouldn't be against this. It would reduce our monthly gain a chunk, but sure, let's go for it. That would continue to help us as well. Our trust would increase, and any technologies that they have that we don't would be a little bit easier for us to get, and vice versa as well. Is there anyone else that we could work towards that with? No, but perhaps we could look to open a commercial pact? No. Currently, 100% not going to happen. Alright, very well. I guess we'll just keep on working on this. I could try and improve their relations even harder. That is definitely an option. In terms of our federation, we are slowly getting there. I don't think having envoys over here would necessarily be any particular benefit to us any further, but we'll keep them there for the time being. But yes, things are moving forward somewhat slowly, but things are happening rather quickly. Wow, really, another dead scientist. Bloody anti-intellectuals. Their assassins are up in their game. Tally Fireheart. He lived to the ripe old age of 86. And that has left us without a physics researcher. That is unfortunate. Do we have any physicists? No. Well, we could grab someone who is at least okay with statecraft and have them take over the job. Alright, let's see what your real name is. It is, in fact, Alacrams. Well done. Let's get you shuffled about then. So we're going to want you over here, Alacrams. There you go. You'll do a much better job there. As far as our physicists, though, we could go for someone with a spark of genius, perhaps. Oh, busy doing engineering research right now, though. No, it's probably best then that we just grab Oak. Oak, go ahead. Continue working in physics. Hopefully you're capable in that field, and I've not just told you to go over there and do a job that you're awful at. That would be a little bit of a shame. Ooh, looks like we've got a new species here who is now somewhat more capable. Yeah, Alpine Worlds. Oh, okay. We've got a species that may actually help us expand our borders significantly faster than we were otherwise. We would lose consecrated worlds. But let's go and check in on our faction down here. I think you're probably going to have everything multicultural society. Oh no, hosting at least 4 unique species within our empire. Really? Is that not the case? Well, apparently someone is able to live in these worlds. That's interesting. Let's go and have a quick look. Who would be able to colonize this world then? No, we have definitely got access. We've got quite a lot of people who are willing to live here, in fact. But they're not currently hosted in our empire. Ah, I see. Okay, well, I'm going to have a bit of a think on whether we want to inhabit our recently consecrated worlds, but I'm leaning fairly heavily in favor of yes. We are also about to expand into this system, and another leader is dead. Well, that is most affecting. Who has just died? Envoy, Hostess Laureus, age 87, has perished. But don't worry, their job was immediately taken over by another up-and-coming in the diplomatic corps. No envoy position shall be left unfilled. On the plus side, though, whilst that's all going down, we can now get our ships to set up all the mining in here. And it is just mining in this sector, which is rather lovely. Let's move the other construction ship. We do want to make a beeline. If I can control this point, then that blocks you from any further expansions, actually. Yeah, that would 100% just block you off at this point. Where are you headed? Moving to the Pendil system. Okay, you're going out in this direction. Well, I'm not against that, actually. If we can get in there and just cleave that off, then we will be free to expand up in this direction for now. Just carve out more and more space for ourselves. Okay, we've got a bit of a plan of action here. Let's see how it plays out, though.
The special project has concluded.
Oh, okay. Secrets of the Voltrum. Despite the fundamentally flawed conclusions, the Voltrum research into computing and virtual worlds was highly advanced and will dramatically aid our own studies. Okay, Oak now has the experienced computing trait. Physics research gained 500. Secrets of the Voltrum modifier added, giving the following effects. Research speed in computing plus 15% and amenities plus 10%. Marvellous. I approve. Is there anything else that we can do with traditions, I wonder? Let's have a quick look. No, it doesn't look like there's anything else that we can do there. That's a bit of a shame, but oh well. We got as much out of that as we possibly could. Oh, and it looks like an archaeological site event pending. Okay, the final answer to the mystery of the vanished fungoid society turned out to be fairly straightforward. The planet's population is not lost at all. They're still there, gestating underground. Analysis of an uncovered pod indicated that the species' centuries-long active lifespan was nothing compared to the pod's state gestation, which seems to go on for a few thousand years. Their simple cities, built to withstand long neglect, stand silently, awaiting their return. So there they all are, slumbering in the ground, awaiting the day when they'll rise and start the cycle once more. Research option gained, Secrets of Life. Marvellous. I approve. Okay, and that's the end of that particular chain. That was actually quite a nice little chain, I think. Okay, well, we'll get Detour out, doing a little bit more research. Now, we can presently explore our friends' borders over there, so yeah, I think we'll get down to a little bit of that. Sure enough, let's have a look at our second fleet. It's starting to pad out, but it's going to take a while. Hopefully, they are making a reasonable impact, though, on the piracy along this lane. We are eventually going to have a very long trade route that they're going to have to patrol. We'll probably need 2 separate patrol fleets at that point, because that's a very long route for one to take. By the time they swung back around, piracy would be rampant again. So yeah, it's things are developing. We really need to get up there fast, though, because they are wasting no time at all. I dislike it. Start building the outpost, please. A resolution has been passed on the year 2258, January the 11th. There we go. It has gone through. Right, we're in recess for 711 days. I don't imagine that this is really going to change position all that much, and we have dropped down. Once again, they've managed to just pip us to the post. Their tech, no doubt, has pushed them up a little bit there. Okay, well, very well. It's interesting to see. Can I bring up my own diplomatic strength? Not particularly easily. Everyone is getting that little bit of a boost, but yes, we're going to need to continue struggling with our Federation neighbor there. I imagine they're going to be one to beat, because a lot of our work is going to be on improving the Federation itself, which will continue to elevate them as well. Now, while we're over here, and until we grab these worlds, I'm just going to go straight ahead and consecrate this one. Well, as soon as I've got the means to. At the very least, I'll always try to have 3 consecrated worlds in the Empire where I can. No! Admiral Sheilab has died at the age of 88. Why do all the best ones die? The MVT has left the building. And it's time for a new Admiral to man our primary fleet. Let's have a look. Well, I guess it's gonna be just someone with adaptable. That's fine though. Let's find out who you are. Chilling with Chuck has entered the Empire and is now manning the greatest fleet that the Eos Commonwealth has ever known. Best of luck with that. Please don't get it wrecked if you can possibly avoid it. We are making reasonable progress right now on our race up here to try and cut off this expanse from our neighbors, and then we'll just slowly move through and just eat everything else nearby. It'll take a bit of time, but we'll get there, no doubt. Just as soon as we're finished building out the mineral mines there, we're going to move straight on up, and by the time we get there, we'll probably have enough to secure that location as well. But I think that's going to be where we wrap up today's episode, actually. We've made a lot of progress, even though not much time has passed. A lot of things have changed in the galaxy. The Galactic Council will probably, or rather the Galactic Community, will probably be voting on whether or not we should form the Galactic Market in the next episode. We are, of course, in support of this idea. Oh no, I dropped a 5th. This is terrible. I need to start clawing back my position. Maybe those planets would help. That extra pop definitely wouldn't go amiss. We've got a lot of available species willing to move into our empire, and I think we should definitely encourage that wherever we can. Let's have a quick look on the situation log, though. In terms of this one, we could probably get this one going in 12 months. Do we want to allow our technology to finish first? Yeah, I think we're going to. We're going to allow the research alternatives tech to finish before we start looking into that portal. For now, admin cap will hopefully be here very soon, because this is starting to hurt a little bit. We're now spending 13% more resources per technology based purely on our admin cap being quite bad right now. In fact, maybe we can go ahead and build a new administrative facility here to try and help with that a little bit. Again, we will eventually move this elsewhere, but for the time being, sure, okay. Aavak is going to get a new administrative office. There we are. T Prime, you are lacking some housing. Well, in that case, let's pop down at City District and get you, well, actually, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should just go for more generators. They will give us some extra housing, so sure, we'll just pop those both down there. And Oolong Prime doesn't have work. Well, that is awful. Frankly, just dire. Let's go ahead and build... Well, we don't really need a mining district, if we're perfectly honest, but maybe instead... how is Caladan doing? Do we want to get a little bit more? In fact, sure, let's go ahead and pop down 1 or 2 more agriculture districts in Caladan to try and pull that one up. And Oolong Prime, just go ahead and get a city district. And once that's built and we have even more homes available for us, go ahead and lay down a couple of mining districts as well. This should give us a decent amount of minerals flowing into the foundries that we will eventually be able to use to build our gigantic fleets. But that's going to be where we wrap this one up. I really do hope you've enjoyed, and will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.